One in particular, I remember probably about third grade. We had this teacher, Miss Herron, and she said, we were learning about the word minority.
All right, buckle up, because we've got a Hollywood conspiracy on our hands. You thought the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni was the real deal? Think again. This story is about to get a whole lot more twisted than anything you've seen on screen. Imagine Ryan Reynolds pulling the strings behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, creating the perfect PR storm to elevate his wife, Blake Lively's career, while turning Hollywood's biggest stars into pawns in his grand game. And when Rob McElhenney, of all people, stumbles upon this, he doesn't stay quiet. Get ready, because today we're peeling back the curtain on one of the most shocking and calculated PR schemes Hollywood has ever seen. Picture it. It Ends With Us, a massively popular novel that has fans worldwide practically begging for a movie adaptation. Blake Lively, beloved actress with a massive fan base, is cast in the lead role. On top of that, Justin Baldoni, a rising director with charm and talent, is behind the camera. The cast and crew are stacked, and the excitement around the film is palpable. The stage is set for a blockbuster hit, and from the outside, everything looks perfect. The kind of success that could make every studio executive do a victory lap. But then just as the hype starts to reach fever pitch, something strange happens. Rumors start swirling. Allegedly, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are butting heads. The media starts pushing headlines about creative differences and on-set tension. The once perfect team now seems at odds, with headlines even painting Justin as a controlling, overbearing director. The feud becomes the story, with every magazine and gossip column feeding the fire. It seems like the set of It Ends With Us is about to implode before it even premieres. But here's the catch. According to Rob McElhenney, everything you've heard might just be smoke and mirrors. A perfectly constructed Hollywood lie to stir up attention and controversy. And who's behind it? None other than Ryan Reynolds. You're going to want to stick around to see how it all unravels. Now let's talk about Rob McElhenney. Yes, the same guy who's always cracking jokes in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Rob was involved in the production of It Ends With Us in some capacity, and he wasn't exactly buying the drama everyone else was feeding into. He wasn't one to stay quiet when something didn't feel right, especially when it came to what he was seeing behind the scenes. Rob claims that what was being portrayed as a fiery clash between Blake and Justin was actually the result of a much more elaborate scheme, a plan to manufacture drama and get people talking. So what exactly did Rob discover? According to him, Ryan Reynolds was pulling the strings all along. While everyone was focusing on the supposed conflict on set, Ryan, being the PR mastermind that he is, was orchestrating the whole thing from the shadows. The goal? To elevate Blake's image by painting her as the victim. By creating a narrative where she was constantly at odds with her director, the public would rally behind her. Sympathy sells, and if you can generate enough of it, you've got a recipe for marketing gold. But it wasn't just about sympathy for Blake, it was about generating massive buzz. People would start asking, what's going on with It Ends With Us? And the film would get a level of attention no one could have predicted. It was a win-win for the whole team, but for Rob, it felt like a deception on a huge scale. At this point, you might be wondering, why would Ryan Reynolds, the charming and funny guy we all know and love, be involved in something like this? The answer, according to Rob, is simple. PR Hollywood is a game of perception, and Ryan Reynolds was playing it better than anyone could have imagined. His plan wasn't just to get attention, it was to craft the perfect storm of chaos, a drama that felt real, but was actually carefully designed to sell the movie. Imagine this. The media starts circulating stories about how Blake is struggling with her director, how she's creatively stifled, and how the production is on the brink of falling apart. Meanwhile, Ryan is quietly influencing these headlines, sending text messages, leaking stories, and making sure the narrative stays just chaotic enough to keep people on the edge of their seats. But here's the kicker. Ryan wasn't just orchestrating drama for the sake of it. The goal was to turn Blake into an underdog. Fans love an underdog. If they believed she was being held back by a tyrannical director, they'd rally behind her. And if they rallied behind her, they'd flock to the film when it came out. And let's be real. This kind of strategy is straight out of the playbook for Hollywood success. Stir the pot, create some fake tension, and watch the crowds show up. It's genius, but it's also a little manipulative, don't you think? Now, things take an even more interesting turn when we hear about Blake's so-called dragons. Yes, dragons. It sounds like something out of Game of Thrones, but these dragons were very real, and according to Rob, they were just as powerful. Blake refers to her dragons in private texts, and guess who they are? Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. Yes, these two heavy hitters in the Hollywood and music worlds were reportedly part of Blake's team, working behind the scenes to control the narrative and boost her image.
I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
What? Oh no.
What does this all mean? Well, it means Blake had an elite team of storytellers on her side, and they were helping her craft a public image that was, to put it bluntly, strategic. Ryan Reynolds, with his years of experience in both Hollywood and social media, knows how to manipulate public opinion. Taylor Swift, who has her own history of playing the media game, was also reportedly part of the effort to rewrite Blake's story. The Dragons weren't just there to offer support. They were helping to direct the story, feeding the tabloids narratives that painted Blake as an innocent actress stifled by her director.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
And here's where the whole situation takes a turn for the more absurd. Rob starts talking about how, once the behind-the-scenes text came to light, they showed a completely different story, one where Blake and Justin Baldoni were getting along perfectly fine. The set wasn't burning down like the tabloids had led everyone to believe. In fact, the two were allegedly very cordial with one another. But this new information didn't match the drama that was being peddled to the public. Why? Because the drama was the point. It wasn't about what was really happening on set. It was about what people thought was happening. The twist is that the public had been fed a carefully constructed illusion. The creative differences were made to look far worse than they actually were, creating a false narrative that would send fans into a frenzy. And when the real story came out, it was clear. The entire situation was just a marketing ploy. The fans who had once believed the gossip now felt like they'd been duped, and honestly, they weren't happy about it. Once Rob pulled the curtain back on this whole PR game, fans started questioning everything. They felt betrayed by the very people they had trusted, Blake, Ryan, and yes, even Justin Baldoni, who had been painted as the villain. Social media exploded with people wondering if they'd been played all along. It was like realizing your favorite TV show was a scripted reality series. People felt manipulated and the backlash was swift. The phrase, "Wait, are we being played?" ricocheted across Twitter, with many fans feeling angry and disillusioned. The entire narrative they had believed in crumbled before their eyes, and the fallout was massive. And then the legal drama took center stage. Blake Lively's attorney suddenly resigned. The official reason? Irreconcilable differences. But insiders claim it was because the attorney couldn't get behind the deceptive PR tactics and the real story that was starting to emerge. When your lawyer walks out, you know things are about to get messy. Suddenly, Blake's carefully crafted image as the flawless, relatable actress was beginning to show cracks. And Justin Baldoni, the director who had been demonized in the media, was now gaining sympathy from those who felt he'd been unfairly painted as the bad guy. But here's the thing. Was Rob McElhenney the hero for exposing the truth, or was he just stirring up drama for the sake of it? Sure, some fans praised him for shedding light on the deception, but others accused him of making a mountain out of a molehill. Either way, one thing's clear. Rob opened the floodgates on how much of Hollywood's drama is carefully curated. He showed us the strings being pulled behind the scenes, and honestly, it's hard to unsee it once you know how the game is played. So was this a masterstroke of marketing, or did it backfire in the worst way possible? Were we all just pawns in a high-stakes game of Hollywood chess? Let us know what you think in the comments. Was Blake and Ryan's little drama a work of genius? Or did Rob McElhenney just expose a PR mess that got out of hand? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next in this wild Hollywood saga. Until then, remember, in Tinseltown, the drama never ends. It just waits for the next encore.